Gonna make you dance today.
I hope this cheese also. And then is the bar open?
It's fine, he's a base municipal.
Okay. You guys are clowns. Yeah. We tried it. Ready for you, sir? Not at the egg farm.
There's a brown bag, so I just want to. Next day there. That's why the chief can read him. Just take a charge inside. Thank you. Let's go for you. Sure.
It would be outside now.
The holding slides on YouTube, Facebook is the red one, and
No,
Twitter is that one.
actually a picture. I took a picture.
Is it possible to make it the same as this on Twitter? Twitter is showing the names there on the thing.
No, Twitter. Okay, let me. Give me a second.
Okay.
Turn down though. Shut the mic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You guys look good, eh? Even though I don't see you. And the ones that I'm seeing online, you guys are looking good. Your names make you guys look so good. Firstly, apologies for delaying a few minutes. It was just unplanned for us to have taken so much time away. We hope that we are audible enough. Welcome to this session for the Public Participation Service Level Agreement Input. My name is Telani Matenjwa. Among other things that I'm responsible for is communication. I work for the Metropolitan Trading Company. I would like to believe that everybody has had an opportunity to look at our document as we send the invite to everybody else. And the purpose of this meeting basically for today is that we want to open up an opportunity as required by the law to ensure that our people can be able to have inputs into the service level agreement that is going to be entered by the Metropolitan Trading Company together with the preferred service provider for the procurement of the City of Johannesburg broadband infrastructure. Without wasting time, I just want to introduce the guests that we've got for today. As we launch this program, they will be able to talk to us, give us an overview, and be able to lead us as we go forward. And thank you very much to all of you at home that have been able to join. I see a lot of you are already coming in, coming from various walks of life. You've already started flocking in and looking in for us to be able to engage yourselves. I would like to just maybe give you a quick rundown of the people that are with us in the house. Just firstly, those that are still coming inside the house, there are health and safety protocol or COVID-related protocol that we all need to adhere to. There are sanitizers as you walk in. We must all make sure that we sanitize and ensure that we maintain social distancing. But those that are at home, I'm sure that would not be much of an issue. So I just want to run quickly down now to indicate the membership that we've got as of today as we start this program. We've got the MTC executive team led by the CEO, Mr. Teddy Morupa, who is on my left. We've got the CFO, Ntate Rajan Chetty. We also have Mr. Eldred Mtana, who is our Chief Technology Officer. But then also, we've got our former CFO, Mr. Luanda Gidini, with us, visiting us. But then we've got our guest of honor, of course, the member of Mayoral Committee, who also represents the shareholder, Ntate Lawrence Koza, in our midst. Did we get all the dignitaries that are here with us? Oh, thank you so much. I can hear that was a big one. Yes, so without wasting time, we just want to go through the program. It's going to be a very short program. The aim of this is for you that are joining at home to be able to engage us in terms of the inputs that you would like to have in the SLA that MTC is going to have with the service provider in ensuring that we bridge the digital connectivity as required by the City of Johannesburg. So without wasting time, I'm going to allow the MMC actually to come talk to us, because the MMC is the one that needs to give us the marching orders as the member of Mayoral Committee and also the representative of the shareholders. Over to you, Ntate Koza. Can you give him a hand as he comes forward, please?
Am I audible? No, thank you very much. As I entered this building, I was excited that we'll have this conversation, but I started by expressing my fatigue around this issue, that it has been going on for quite some time. So I hope that we reach finality on this matter and we close it so that colleagues at the MTC would be seized with doing the strategic work that is expected of them. So I'm hopeful that what we are doing today will take us closer to that destination. You know, as I'm standing here, cynics might be asking, but why are you consulting with people? Because You know, a careless reading of democracy would say that you've chosen your public representatives. You've given the mandate to take decisions on your behalf. But we always remind people that our approach in South Africa is of a participatory kind, that democracy is not reduced to 2 minutes of voting every 5 years. That over and above the voting where, as politicians, you are put on trial, that you are consulted on strategic issues, especially on decision-making that impacts on your lives. For us, the MTC is a very important institution. That is why we are here. We are asking you to express your views, because one of the worst things that can happen to any Democrat is that assumption of superiority of intellect, where you feel that only you possess knowledge that would help us go forward as a nation. That kind of arrogance does not help countries. Countries are helped when am I audible now? Countries are helped when they put in place measures that would ensure that the views, fears, and aspirations of people find expression in their decision making. You know, when we look at Joburg, we make all these bold claims about a world-class African city. In fact, yesterday, I was in Lanseria, and there's excitement around the airport about this smart city that we are putting together. But as they say, making a claim is easier than actually realizing that dream. And the responsibility is on management to ensure that all these dreams that we have about building a world-class smart city become a reality. Today you are given this opportunity to tell us what you think should be contained in that service level agreement between the MTC and the preferred service provider. This is important because it would regulate the kind of relationship that would define Joburg going forward. What we are clear about as the political leadership is that we cannot allow a situation where the majority of our people are on the margins in this digital era. We want to make sure that whether a person is in Joburg, inner city, or Soweto, or Rivoli, or any part of Joburg, that they have access to all our digital platforms, that they engage in our economic activity. You know things have changed. When we were growing up, writing a check is something that we did every day. I don't know how many people have lived in the US, but one of the strangest things about the US is that, the impression that you have is that the US is this sophisticated country. But there's this obsession that Americans have with checks. So even if I owe you R5, I pay you with a check, which is rare in other parts of the world. But in South Africa, our view is that a lot of these things should be digitized. I've been saying that it's actually humiliating for us that the whole of last year we suffered because people could not deposit their development plans, because to do that they would have had to come physically to deposit their applications. And that, in our view, is something that we need to confront going forward, that a lot of our services should actually be digitized, so that we don't have queues of people coming here with forms, annexures, and all of that. It doesn't make sense. MTC for us is important for dealing with concerns that we have as cities, like crime. It can't be that in this world-class African city of ours, today, if you had to go to the inner city, you will hear stories about, hey, in this corner, some woman was mugged. A young person lost their iPad. That is something that we are concerned about as the leadership. And we think that, all these things should find expression in terms of the future that we are charting going forward. We are confident that the leadership of the MTC would reflect on the outcomes of today, because we can't be calling you here and ignore everything that you say. And we are not calling this public participation engagement solely to meet some legislative requirement, what some used to call malicious compliance. We are not doing this because we want to comply with the law. We are doing this because, any belief that one holds gets strengthened when they are confronted by opposing views, or by views that are distant to what views one may be holding. So when you have these engagements, you leave them wiser and stronger and more committed to your ideas, because once they've survived any attempt to refute them, then you can confidently hold on to them. But every time you hold on to an idea, simply because you do not give opposing views the opportunity to express something that you're not happy with, then our view is that you are not certain about the cause that you've charted. And quite frankly, citizens of Joburg, we believe in you. We believe that you see the importance of this engagement. As for management, thank you very much for bringing this opportunity together, giving our people the opportunity to express their views around the kind of MTC that we're discussing today. There is no right or wrong answer, so you are not going to be applauded for articulating a particular position on anything. We are applauding you for taking part in these discussions, because for us it's important. So we welcome you here. We politicians always love it when we speak, but sometimes everything that I've said here is something that I came here knowing, so that's why I could express it. But listening is great, because when I leave here, through that listening, I would get to know something that I didn't know before I came here. So that's why we are here today, but thank you very much. You're all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MMC Khoza. Every time when we get an opportunity to engage you, we become wiser. Even though at times when you want something done, you really want it done. I think the leadership of the organization gets the message very clear that the work that we've entrusted us to do needs to be done in a way that it's efficient, and it shows that we've taken our ability and our times in putting it together for our people. So I'm sure the community and the people at large have learned from your address, and can be able to link it where the vision of the city is taking the MTC and the inputs from our people. Thank you very much, sir, for that. Without wasting time, because we really want you to engage us, we are going to request that our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Morupa, come forward and give us also an overview, taking from what the MMC has said, taking it down so that it becomes much more breakable for us, so that as we start engaging, we are all aware on what the organization is doing going forward. I just want to also implore that we are going to upload the link, because we've seen that some of the people are saying that they want to see the link of all the documents being put up. We are working on it as quick as possible to put it up there. Ntate Morupa will be coming up. Can we give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen, please?
Afternoon, everyone. Let me just start off by thanking the MMC for making time to come address us. It's always nice having the MMC at these events, because it gives a much clearer indication as to what the political leadership of the city needs from us, and as well as what they their vision is for the residents of the city as well as the organizations within the city. I'd also like to welcome everyone who is joining us online, and all the colleagues from the city. I see there's one or two councillors as well online. Welcome to you too. You're recognized. I think mine today is just to give a brief history of what has led us to this point. And I think I should start off maybe right at the beginning, which is 2011, when the mayor at the time introduced what we call in the city the Growth and Development Strategy 2040. That is an aspirational strategy that defines the type of city that is envisioned for that Joburg should be by the time we reach 2040. One of the key priorities programs within the GDS 2040 was the Smart City program. And with the Smart City program, they envisioned a Joburg where its residents, its stakeholders, as well as the different entities and departments within the city live in one ecosystem that is technologically advanced. With that said, we saw the rebirth of MTC in the year 2015. With the rebirth of MTC, the city took back the Joburg broadband network from, at that time, B. Wyatt and Ericsson, which then saw it taken and given into the custodianship of the Metropolitan Trading Company. What was then given as the agenda and mandate to a Metropolitan Trading Company is to bridge the digital divide between for the residents of the city. Now, as you can appreciate, there are demographics within the city from a previously disadvantaged nature. And with that said, MTC's goal was to go out and get them connected. There have been some hindrances as we have progressed to that stage. And with that being the Joburg broadband network, there has been issues around maintenance. There's been issues around the upgrading of the network, and as well as issues which were of capital nature. And that entailed, that put MTC in a position where MTC could not achieve its mandate as quickly and as efficiently as possible, which is when the leadership of the city at the time said MTC needs to go out and think of a way in which they can get the network up to par and then deliver on their mandate as required by the city, which is when the EBM was hatched. The EBM standing for Enhanced Business Model. The Enhanced Business Model will see the Metropolitan Trading Company, on behalf of the city of Joburg, leveraging off a private sector service provider, using their capital resources as well as their technical expertise in order to get the network up to par, have a telco-grade network, and be able to deliver on its mandate to the residents and stakeholders of the city. That being said, we are guided once a municipal-owned entity or a municipality or the state engages with the private sector. We are regulated or governed by the Municipal Finance Management Act. And as part of the Municipal Finance Management Act, one of the processes we are required to undertake is the public participation. There was a public participation that was had in the beginning of the sale of this asset, and that public participation was more around the initial sale proposal. The concerns of the residents were taken into account. They were answered. They were tabled in front of council, and which is when council moved to approve the enhanced business model. Once that was done, the ball was back in MTC's court, and we had to go out into a tender process. And then from that tender process, we emanated a preferred bidder. With that preferred bidder, negotiations were entered into around the sale and the service level agreement, which is what has culminated in us all congregating here today. As part of the Municipal Finance Management Act, we need to have a public participation called the Section 33 public participation, which is based on which surrounds the sale agreement as well as the service level agreement. We are here today, ladies and gentlemen, to hear your comments, your concerns, your thoughts, and to offer clarity on any issues around the service level agreement as well as the sale agreement of the Joburg Broadband Network. As the MMC has reiterated, we as a entity of the municipality or the city of Joburg at large, our interests are your interests. We need to make sure that your voice is heard, your concerns are answered, and we answer them to the best of our ability. So throughout this session, I implore everyone who has joined us online to ask anything they need to comment on anything they need to. You will be noted. Being of a technical nature and quite a vast or expensive project, anything that was not be able to answer now, we will endeavor to answer you, and your concerns will be addressed. You can rest assured about that. With that, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Matenjo to continue the program for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ntate Moropa. I'm sure it becomes clearer as we get into more details of this engagement as to, for those especially that have not been able to get more background on the engagement, it gets more clearer as we continue bringing it down or breaking it down so that our people can understand clearly as to how we have actually arrived here. As I said earlier on, we are actually trying to make sure that we upload also the document, because previously we sent it with the link, but it looks like there might have been technicalities. We are working around the clock to get it up. Even if it means after this session, the documents are going to be uploaded into the link so that you can be able to engage going forward. I also want to say we will be continuing with this engagement tomorrow on Thursday, the 25th, and also on Friday, the 26th of February. Even if it means there were questions that you might have wanted to ask that might have gone over at this point in time, you'll be able to take them through on the next day or so. Without wasting time, I just want to bring in the colleagues from the legal department. We've got Ms. LaRusha. LaRusha is going to take us through, just to give us an overview from a legal point of view, to say what other processes have been followed. As Ntate Moropa was saying earlier on, the issues of Section 33 of the Municipal Finance Management Act, as to why it requires us to do certain things. We're going to try and bring in LaRusha to be able to just talk to us and be able to give us more updates as to how we are doing things. LaRusha, over to you.
To those who haven't had sight of it. The purchase of services from the service provider will enable MTC to unlock commercial potential of the network asset and transform the organization into a customer-centric digital network service provider, as a result becoming a key digital enabler for a smarter city of Johannesburg. The services that will be purchased will assist MTC to optimally address ICT requirements and challenges from the COJ, support the COJ Smart City agenda, enhance service and responsiveness to service delivery challenges and citizens' demands, as well as reduce total cost of ownership in the face of increased pressure on resources. The contract term for the SLA is envisaged to be a period of 12 years. And MTC's obligations will be to ensure that payment for services in terms of the invoice and payment clause is complied with. MTC will also ensure that it provides sufficient information to enable the service provider to perform its obligations under the SLA. The complete SLA has been provided previously with an information memorandum, and all those who haven't had sight of it will be provided a copy of it in the link. If there are any other specific questions related to the SLA, those can be dealt with at a later stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Larusha. I'm sure you've been able to break down a number of things that our people would want to actually know. I think now we've finally come to the crux of the matter now, where we want to allow you, by a show of hands. Thank you very much, Larusha. I was still thanking you on that one. Thank you very much. I think it's going to be better now for us to engage with yourselves. I think we've finally come to a space where we allow you, ladies and gentlemen, to ask questions. By the show of hands, we'll be able to recognize you and we'll be able to listen to your questions. There will be different types of questions that we're going to be dealing with. There are questions that, as you ask them, right on the spot, we've got a panel. We also have got a panel right also online that will be able to assist us. Some of these questions, we can be able to answer them right away. Some of them are going to capture them and we're going to be able to give you responses as we go along. Either, some of these questions, you will not be able to answer them as right on the spot. Without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, it's an opportunity now for us to ask questions. Can I see those that would want to have questions, inputs, or any form of comment, as we've been indicating earlier on, to indicate by a show of hands? By the show of hands, am I seeing hands? I'm seeing Bridget. Okay, I would like to start with you, Bridget.
Thank you very much. It's Councillor Steer, Ward 87, Region B. I did notice that I haven't seen the presentation. In fact, I'm a bit concerned because not one councillor in Region B knew about the meeting until 3:45, which is a bit of a problem. So I don't know who was responsible. I assume the Speaker's office was supposed to circulate this invitation, but actually none of us have seen it. I'm a bit worried. It says this is for Region B and Region F. Can we join the other stations? This is my first question. My second question is, when did council approve this public participation? Okay, and then all protocols observed, MMC Causa, but why is the MMC of DED and not the Section 79 chairperson for MTC presenting this? Because MTC is still under Finance Department. Yes, and I'll have to join a meeting tomorrow because, as I said, none of us have seen these documents. So, unfortunately, there's nothing to comment on at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Your 3 questions have been captured. Are there any other questions from other colleagues and other members of the other stakeholders that would want to ask questions before we attempt to respond to Bridget's questions? The floor is open, colleagues. My colleagues are going to assist me in trying to respond to Bridget's question. I'll just take one, which is probably the first one, where she says, the engagement of today is for Region E and B. And can the other people, can we still join in the other engagements? And the answer is yes, Bridget. We are going to be able to be allowed again from all regions to join, just in case there have been things that we might not have been able to deal with in the current engagements. So you are more than welcome to engage and to continue attending the meeting. Number 2, the statement and the whole pack has been made available as early as the last 30 or so, the last 60 days, if I'm not mistaken. It has been flighted in the MTC website. It was also advertised in the media. It was also advertised in social media as well. So it is possible that things might not have been seen at a time, but having said that, we are going to make sure that we flight the package again into this platform and for everyone else to make sure that at the end of the day, everyone gets an opportunity to engage the documents and be able to respond or engage going forward. The third question of MMC, it refers to MMC Khoza. Unfortunately, he had currently had another engagement. We are going to take this question and we are going to forward it to him for further engagements. But I just want to verify if my colleagues want to add something.
What we will do is we will answer the one why we belong to DET first, and then the CEO will answer the one of the public participation when it was approved, and the budget didn't come. So I don't know if I'm audible from here.
Please come through this. Okay, no, thanks. I think there's a mic there.
Okay, good afternoon or evening. My name is Maria Ngube, Management Executive from MTC. I will answer the question on why we fall under DED. Initially, MTC was under DED, under Economic Development. And the terms of reference, as per council, puts us into DED. We were then transferred to finance, but the finalization of the transfer never happened. So when the political turn changed and the GLU came, we were brought back to DED. So, but if you go to council and the council documents and the terms of reference, we are under DED. Thank you. I'll hand over to CEO to answer about when the public participation was approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nonhlanhla. Just to answer the question on when the council approved this, I think to answer this, we must first bear in mind that there was a political change. Hello? There was a political change in the city over the past couple of years. And with that, the original approval of the asset was on 2019 in April. That is when the council approved this. When the new political leadership went in, they did put a halt on proceedings in order for them to also digest the information and understand the technicalities of the project. And then they moved to continue with the directive which was approved by council the previous year, and this was done on the 13th of August 2020. I hope that clarifies it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO. Thank you very much, Nonhlanhla, for the input. Bridget, I think I can still see your hand. Is there any other question that you might probably want to raise? Bridget, over to you again.
So the last bit wasn't audible. On the 13th of August 2020, who approved? I missed that.
Bridget, can you please repeat your question? We lost you for some minutes.
Sorry, the last speaker, I think it was the CEO, said that something was approved on the 13th of August 2020. I couldn't hear.
That's true, yes. Can you just, maybe CEO, can you just repeat the approval time?
Hi, let me just maybe go through the approval times again. The approval of MTC of the EBM, or the sale of the asset, was done. Let me just getting a bit of feedback. The approval was done by council on the 25th of April 2019, and then when the new leadership came into the city, they did put a halt, they halted the proceedings, and then they further resolved to move with a council resolution, which was the approval of it, and that was done on the 28th of April 2020.
Thank you. Sis Bridget, are you still again available? Is there any other follow-up question? I'd like to believe that Bridget is still interested in coming back. Bridget? Sorry, we lost you for some time. Do you perhaps have a follow-up for us? Okay, let's start. So sorry, let him start again.
Hi, Bridget, just to maybe answer your question again. The initial approval of the EBM was done on 2019. So the mayoral committee approved it, which was the 23rd of January 2019. And then when the new political leadership came into the city, they put a halt on proceedings, and then they further moved to proceed with that resolution, which was on the 13th of August 2020. Thank you.
Bridget, I'm sure you might have been able to hear what the CEO has been able to say. Any follow-up from you? Bridget, over to you. It was a MACOM decision, if I hear well, Bridget.
Okay, thank you for answering that. I'm clear. And then the other question I had which wasn't answered was did the department or was this information about public meetings given to the office of the speaker?
If I capture you well, we're talking about did we manage to get the information, send the information at the office of the speaker? Okay, noted, ma'am. Noted, ma'am. The information has been circulated through the group comms and the office of the MMC, Economic Development, where a press statement has been issued, and the other social engagement platforms that have been issued. That's basically what happened at this point in time. But we are going to continue making sure that all the other necessary stakeholders has the information in the future and also with other regions going forward.
Thank you very much. You can go to the office of the speaker and walk out, so that's all we'll have notice of these meetings, because I don't think anyone's aware of it.
Noted, Bridget, and thank you very much for your input. Thank you. Any more questions, colleagues, stakeholders? We are waiting. We are all here just to save you and make sure that all your inputs have been taken into consideration. We await you to engage us on the document. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. Oh, there's a question. Okay. Muepi Situnan, Muepi, I think it's on you. Good day and welcome. Please go ahead and pose your questions.
Thank you, Chair.
We struggled a bit to hear you. We'll try just one more time to give you much more audio so that the colleagues can be able to take your question well. Just give us a second as we make sure that you're more audible. Can you try your question again, sir?
Thank you, Chair. Am I audible, Chair?
Much better.
Thank you. I was saying, Chair, I walked into the meeting a bit late. I would appreciate it if, Chair, you can give me the high-level pointers of the documentation so that one can engage. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think I got you very well. Maybe let me do this. There's a sanitizer. I will use it after this just to make sure I adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Larusha, Ntate Moepi here is asking a very simple question. He says that when you joined in, you had already gone through your high-level analysis of the documents for him to be able to engage going forward. Can I then request you to just come in one more time and give the whole team just a high-level overview of why we are here, what sort of inputs are there in the documents, what sort of content is sitting in the document? Are you there, Larusha? Over to you.
Thank you again. I hope you all can hear me clearly as well, but just another high-level view of the purpose of this public participation is to basically request the public engagement in terms of the service level agreement that is going to be entered into between MTC and the service provider. In terms of the SLA, MTC will be procuring services from the service provider, which will enable MTC to better serve the city and its citizens in terms of ICT services. The SLA was published together with all its annexures, and this is basically the reason for the engagements today. Thank you.
Ntate Situna, I'm sure you might have heard Larusha in her analysis of what brings us here, and I'm sure you might possibly want to engage even further after having heard what Larusha is saying. Mr. Situna, do you want to respond?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the high level. So maybe, Chair, since we're speaking about service level agreements, so my question, Chair, would be, so if as a technology company we are providing services to the city, would the SLA be between MTC and the company, or is it directly with the city? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. The service level agreement, Tate Situna and the rest of the stakeholders will be between MTC and the service provider. Remember that MTC provides services on behalf of the city of Johannesburg. Now, after the procurement of this particular asset by the service provider, MTC will be taking these services or will be getting these services on behalf of the city from the service provider, but then the service provider will be improving the asset, will be making sure that the asset is optimized such that it can work in its full capacity. Then MTC will make sure that it adheres to its priority programs as outlined by the city of Johannesburg to ensure digital, bridging the digital divide, which is a responsibility of MTC or a responsibility of the city, but then bestowed to MTC to actually deliver on behalf of the city. I'm sure I've been clear enough. Any more follow-ups, Ntate Situna or anyone else in the group?
Thank you, Chair. Very well clarified. So, in the sense of procurement, Chair, do then the city procure through MTC with the service provider, or maybe elaborate there? Thank you.
Very good. I'm enjoying your questions, Ntate Situna. I think you're making us wake up and enjoy this session even further. So yes, the responsibility still sits with MTC to provide these services. The difference after these services after this asset has been sold to the service provider is that MTC is not going to be maintaining the asset itself. But MTC is still responsible to ensure connectivity on behalf of the city. So instead of MTC focusing its resources in upgrading the network, in fixing the network, in optimizing the network, the service provider is going to be responsible for that. But MTC will still be going to service provider and say, service provider, give me these services on behalf of the city. So in other words, MTC is still going to continue making sure that the services of the city are reached by the citizens of the city. But now it's going to be better even more, purely because the service provider has got the financial capacity to ensure that the asset has been improved in terms of its capacity. The breakages or the downtimes of the links are going to be the things of the past now, because remember, the city has got money allocated for various other things. So at times, if the city has to look at where do we channel our resources, at some point, if water and city power and all the other constitutionally bound entities are requesting funds, the city is most likely going to give funds to those guys. But when it comes to fiber and connectivity, MTC still has the needs to upgrade or improve the service. Because of the lack of resources from the city, the asset ends up losing its value. But if we give it out to a service provider who's going to focus purely on making sure that this asset is a well-oiled machine, more services are going to be harvested by the citizens, and the city is going to reduce its cost. As one of the main reasons of having this massive asset is to reduce operational costs, but yet improving the smart and safer city priorities as the current administration focuses clearly on. I'm sure I've been able to sum it up. This is Tuna.
Very much so, Chair. I'm with you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Very much cleared. And I believe that, so Chair, maybe in the follow-up question, currently I know that the city has deployed in like different sites, but my question is that then, Chair, how do you then incorporate existing solutions that the city is using so that communities are able to access those services through the network?
Thank you very much, Tate Situna. I just want to also reiterate that in this panel, we've got the Chief Technology Officer. This is the guy that brings all these brains that make sure that the city optimizes its performance in terms of connectivity. His name is Mr. Eldred Mtana. I am actually going to task him with the responsibility of responding to this nice question.
Good afternoon. I think just in terms of responding to that specific question, I think it's important to note that, the core network asset is what will be transferred to the preferred service provider, while the services that runs on top of that will continue to be run by MTC. And I think, to maybe give an example, today the city is rolling out MTC is rolling out, free Wi-Fi on behalf of the city. That free Wi-Fi service will continue to be a service that MTC will deliver to the city and to the residents. If we look at services that we're delivering into entities such as public safety and the bus rapid transit system, where we connect all the stations and where we're responsible to put, all the cameras in and link all of that. Those services that you require a network on, we will continue to deliver those services. I think this transaction is primarily to address the core network asset, which is the active and the passive networks. I trust that answers your questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mtana. It helps. Some of us are born to talk. Other leaders come with solutions as they speak. You can tell that the colleagues and the audience are happy to hear Mr. Mtana speaking and giving them so much of this network. To the rest of the colleagues, I'm still happy that Situna to engage you further if you still have more inputs or any other colleague or other stakeholder that want to engage us even further. But I just want to quickly say that if you go to our website is www.mtc.joburg.org.za. I want to say it again. www.mtc.joburg. Joburg is JOUBRUG.org.za. If you go to our website, you are going to be able to access the link that takes you straight into the package of the public participation. There you will be able to have all the documents that we are talking about. I think it's number 14 in the pack. If you go through there, you'll be able to download everything else. But having said that, we'll try also and improve our links as we go forward for the other days. We still have 2 more days, ladies and gentlemen, to continue with the public participation, which means you are still more than welcome. Should you feel that there are still things that you might have read later on tonight as you read and the following day that you feel that you want to ask questions about or continue engaging us about, you can be able to log on to the website, be able to download the document, and prepare your questions for tomorrow. We will be starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow as well, and we'll be inviting other regions to be able to join us. I just want to quickly confirm from my colleagues as to which other regions are actually doing tomorrow, so that we can be able to say those that did not get an opportunity today, they must be able to follow through and be able to talk to us, and then we'll be able to listen to your inputs going forward. Any other questions, comment, colleagues? We still have time. We want to make sure that we don't take away this opportunity to engage us. The floor is open.
Register. Thank you.
Can you come again, Ntate Situna? I didn't get that.
I was requesting for the attendance register, Chair. I think I'm good with the questions now and comments.
Okay, noted, sir. We'll be able to provide you with that. So what we do, we've got currently in the list, we are able to see who is in, and we'll be able to just engage quickly and be able to give you the opportunity to plug in. Any more comments, questions? Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you very much for engaging us today. Seeing that we don't have questions and any other follow-ups now, we are going to release yourselves so that you can be able to continue with the rest of your day. However, as MTC and the rest of the city staff members, we will stay online just in case other colleagues might want to join us or might want to still engage us further so that we don't waste your time going forward. But just quickly, if you check on our MS or Microsoft Teams chat box, we have been able to upload also our documents now. You can be able to join in or actually be able to download those documents and have access to them. So the documents are currently available on our chat box. Please access the documents so you can be able to familiarize yourself with the content. And when you come back tomorrow, probably you might have other questions or input that you might want to add as we go forward. So thank you very much for coming through. We like to release you for the day, and we will stay through and make sure that if there's still anybody else that has got inputs, comments, or any other things, can be able to join in and engage us further. Thank you.